So we're living in this hyper-fast world, right? And everyone's telling leaders, you've got to have the latest AI just to survive. But what if the real key to the future isn't out there in some new tech, but it's actually buried deep in our past? That's what we're going to dive into today. We're looking at a playbook that does something pretty cool. It merges cutting-edge artificial intelligence with something way, way older, what we're calling ancestral intelligence.
You know, think about any championship team. They'll tell you the game isn't won on the field. Nope, it's won before they even step out there. It's won right in the pregame huddle, where they're hashing out the strategy, finalizing the playbook. And for leaders today, well, that huddle has never been more important.
So, that brings me to you. Let me ask you this. What's your playbook looking like for the year ahead? I mean, when you look out at that maze of challenges on the horizon, how are you actually getting your team ready to navigate it all? All right, so this is where we're going to start, right inside that leader's pregame huddle. Because, let's be honest, the reality for most leaders is they feel like they're just stuck on a treadmill, right? Just constantly reacting to today's problems. And that leaves zero room to actually prepare for the complexity of tomorrow. And that, my friends, is a really dangerous place to be.
And look, this pressure cooker, it's not just for the big shot CEOs. Not at all. We're talking about the nonprofit director who's stretched impossibly thin, the educator who's trying to do more with less to inspire the next generation, the public servant out there with a mission that is absolutely crucial to the community. This challenge, it's universal.
And right at the heart of all this stress is one single, massive question. And it's all about AI. You're probably asking yourself this. Is this new technology going to be the sun and water that helps my mission grow? Or is it the storm that's going to come and tear the whole thing down?
And see, that question, it kind of forces leaders into this false choice. It's like you come to a fork in the road, and you feel like you have to pick a side. But here's the deal, and this is important. That either-or thinking, it's a total trap. In fact, it's the very thing that's holding us back from making any real progress. Okay, so this slide breaks down those two traps perfectly. On one side, you've got strategy without history. If you go down that road, you end up short-sighted. It's kind of like trying to see the horizon by staring at a brick wall. Then on the other side, you've got planning without tools. Well, that just leads to massive inefficiency. Either way you go, you hit a dead end.
So you're left with this crazy dilemma, right? It puts your core values over here on one side of the scale and modern effectiveness way over on the other. It's an impossible choice. But what if the scale itself is the problem? What if you don't have to choose? What if there's a way to have both?
Well, that third path, that's exactly what we're talking about. It opens right up the moment we stop seeing these things as opposing forces and start seeing them as two sides of the same really powerful coin. So let's define them. On one side, we have artificial intelligence, and on the other, something we're going to call ancestral intelligence.
Okay, so let's start with ancestral intelligence. What is that? I want you to think of it like the deep roots of a giant tree. It's the foundation. For a business, it's that founder's original why, the reason they started it all. For a nonprofit, it's the powerful community stories that sparked the whole mission in the first place. This isn't just about data on a spreadsheet. No way. It's about that hard-won wisdom, the cultural DNA that makes you, you, and gives you the strength to weather any storm.
So then you have artificial intelligence. And let's be super clear here. This is not a replacement for your wisdom. It's a powerful enhancement. It's the tool in your tool belt that can automate all that tedious work, analyze tons of data at lightning speed, and show you insights that were literally hiding in plain sight the whole time.
And this right here brings us to the absolute core of the playbook. It's all about creating a powerful intersection, a meeting point where your tradition meets technology. We're getting rid of that either-or mindset. It's time to embrace both and.
So the real solution here is to just totally reject the idea that these are two separate things. It's all about finding that sweet spot, that overlap in the middle. Having a both and mindset really just means that your strategy is deeply rooted in who you are, your unique culture, your values, but it's scaled and supercharged by innovation.
And make no mistake, the stakes here are incredibly high. I mean, just look at this chart. You've got a quarter of your time potentially wasted on administrative overload, another quarter just struggling to get access to funding. These aren't just some abstract problems on a slide, right? These are real, concrete challenges that are eating up your time and energy. Challenges that the right mix of AI and wisdom can actually help you solve. Okay, so you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, it's a process. Step 1, you anchor yourself in your ancestral intelligence.
Start with your values, your history, your context. Then, step 2, you use that context to ask AI much, much better questions. For instance, don't just ask AI to, write a fundraising email. That's so generic. Instead, prompt it with your wisdom. Something like, hey, our nonprofit was founded on the principle of community empowerment. Can you write an email that tells the story of our very first community garden to inspire people to donate to our new youth program? See the difference? It's night and day. From there, you enhance your operations, and finally, you bring it all together. You synthesize the insights you get from AI with the values you already hold.
And the impact of doing it this way? It's really powerful. There's this great quote from an executive director named Carmen, and she just nails it. She said, "I learned how to use AI to organize what I already knew intuitively. I didn't lose myself in tech. I found structure for my story." I mean, wow, that's the whole goal, isn't it? It's not about losing your soul to the machine. It's about using the machine to amplify your soul.
And what Carmen's story really shows us is that this is about so much more than just short-term efficiency or, getting more done. This is about building a legacy. It's about creating something that truly matters for the future. And that requires a whole different way of thinking.
Because at the end of the day, this whole framework boils down to a fundamental choice. It's a choice you have to make. Are you just going to keep spinning on that hamster wheel of productivity, just trying to keep up? Or are you going to build a pyramid, something solid, resilient, meaningful, something designed to last for generations?
I mean, just look at the difference here. When you build a strategy with only AI, yeah, you get a quick burst of speed. It serves the moment, but it's fleeting. It doesn't last. But when you combine AI with your ancestral intelligence, whoa, you get something way more powerful: sustainability. You're not just building for today, you're building for the long haul.
All right, so let's wrap this up. What are the key takeaways from this playbook? Number 1, you have to reject that false choice between tradition and technology. It's a trap. Number 2, remember that your ancestral intelligence is your strategic foundation. It's your anchor. Don't you dare let it go. 3, use AI as a tool to enhance your vision, not to replace it. And finally, let your past be your guide, but let innovation be the engine that carries you forward.
So this really leaves us with just one final question. A question for you to answer as you start to build your own playbook. Are you going to build for the moment? Like a sandcastle that's super impressive for a little while, but gets washed away by the very next tide? Or are you going to build for what lasts? Are you going to build a pyramid, something that truly endures? The choice, as always, is yours.